remember, going into last night, Oklahoma City had lost 14 of its last 21. And we did a whole topic yesterday about what's going on with Oklahoma City, because over that stretch, which happened, let's start at the sort of the all-star break, just before the break, they were third in the West, only a game and a half behind Denver, and they have plummeted to 8th in the West.
Correct.
Okay, so just for perspective, why yesterday did we say that that was happening? What was a reason? Obviously, Paul George went from MVP candidate to slump.
Okay.
Hurt his shoulder, missed 3 games.
In the same sense.
But the other reason is Russell Westbrook has been, by his standards, a disaster shooting three-point shots and free throws this year, right?
Yep.
So just for perspective, he was 2 for 9 from 3 last night, so that wasn't very good. But that's kind of been his MO every game this year, because now he's hitting 28.6% of his three-point shots. Do you realize of the 184 players qualified in the three-point category, he's 182nd. He's 182 of 184 shooting threes at 28.6%. So he's been horrendous from 3, right?
But here's the thing, Skip. He's always been horrendous. He's a career 30-point, and now he's down to 28.
Now, this is his worst, okay? And yet he's never been this bad from the free throw line.
Yes.
Of the 122 qualified, he's 115th in the whole NBA at 65.7, even slightly worse than LeBron shot this year, which was his career.
But LeBron has never been a career 80% free throw shooter.
Russ this guy has.
Yes.
So he's got worse demons in his head than LeBron. So I'm just trying to frame this for you. So last night was special to him because he just said, I'm going to do this. And he dedicated it to Nipsey from the start. And he's yelling during the game. That's for Nipsey when he got his 20th rebound.
Right.
Okay, in the big picture, would I prefer that he dedicate the rest of the season to Nipsey? I would.
Yes.
Would I love to hear him say, if they do draw Golden State, and we're not sure, it's still a long way to go.
Yeah, still a situation.
Yeah. But would I love to hear him say, I'm going to dedicate the Golden State series to Nipsey? I would, because that would be special.
Right.
Because then you'd be doing something that really counted and lasted. That's not an individual. It would be a team achievement, right?
For me, and Skip, watching the game, and he said it, because I'm watching Russ. Russ played the same as he always does. He's 100%. You know, if you go see the OKC, and Russell Westbrook is playing that night, which normally he does 98% of the time he does, you know he's going to give you all that effort. This had to be something special. This had to be something else. And we see those moments. You remember Brett Favre? Father passed that Sunday. He played that Monday night. And we had never seen Brett play like that. Guys were making plays they had no business making.
I still said the Raiders were watching that night. Like it just seemed like the DBs were just watching.
Like what's going on here? And watching Russ and see him get rebound after rebound after rebound, as I said before, Skip, you're explaining it. Him getting 19 rebounds, he's in a spot that normally a 6'8", 6'9", 7-foot guy is occupying. He's down there amongst the trees as a weed, and he gets the ball. He just wanted it more than he wants the ball more than anybody else on the court.
Yeah, it's also athleticism, explosion, physical toughness.
He's diving. He wants the ball. He wants to win. I never question whether or not he wants to win. I never question whether or not he's playing hard, because I know I'm getting his absolute best effort. I don't always agree with how he plays the game. Sometimes I think he takes shots that he doesn't need to take. But last night was as good a performance that I've seen in a very, very long time. I never thought, like I said, I don't even know when 60, I was born in 68. So I don't even know if I was alive when Wilt actually did this. Maybe it was February 68 because I was born in June.
February 2nd.
Yeah, so that was months before I was even born, to let you know how special this moment is. And I never thought, it never really dawned on me, Skip, that I would ever see a 2020 game again.
Of course, I covered this game on February 2nd.
Really?
I did.
I was like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
No, you weren't no little kid. Stop saying that.
You were covering
full time. You were
preparing.
Do you realize in those days, in my childhood, this wasn't on television. Like, we didn't even know what the NBA was yet. I'm serious. It was all college basketball. It was a lot college football. It was some NFL. It was starting to take shape and catch fire, but not like these games. Okay, so Wilt went on that year in Philadelphia. That was I think it was his last year in Philly before he went to LA. And once again, they lost in the second round of the playoffs in 7 games to Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics. Games that were not on television. Okay? Wow.
Just imagine, because think about how that was, Skip. Just think, some of the great moments.
Yep.
Just imagine if Tom Brady's performance against the Falcons,
yep.
you didn't know about it until the next day. You had to read about it, but you didn't get a chance to see it.
Yep.
But remember, Magic Johnson, when they won the finals in his rookie year, the games were tape delayed.
They were.
You weren't watching like, oh boy, look at Magic dishing. No, you saw it after having already known they had won. My sister can watch games like that, Skip. She will tape a game, know who won, and says, now I can watch it in peace.
Really?
Yes. That's how she watch a lot of the sporting events. She don't want to watch it because she feels she's going to jinx it. So she'll tape the game and then sit down. Oh, yeah, I know who won now. I can watch it in peace. I'm like, what?
I should do it.
What?
Add years to my life.
Maybe.
But Skip, but here's the thing. You already know who won.
No, I got it.
But this, Skip, I mean, 2020. I don't think people realize this. There's two people. Do you know how hard it is to get a quadruple double, Skip? There have been 4 guys that has quadruple doubles on their resumes.
With blocks?
All of them have. Alvin Robertson did it with steals, but Elijah Wan, Nate Thurman, and David Robinson did it with blocks.
Yep.
There are 4 guys. There are only 2 20-20-20.
Okay.
That lets you know just how special what he did. Look, there are a lot of people that don't like Russ, that he's selfish, he ran KD away. I get all that. So some of that might be true. But you cannot knock what he did last night, even if you don't like the point. Well, he shot Shannon 8 of 23. Okay, good. So let's just say he shot 15 of 75. What does that got to do with those 20 rebounds and 20 assists? Okay. Explain that.
Okay. So speaking of people who don't like Russell Westbrook, I used to not like him, just to reframe all this. And going back to 2012-13, I was out of my mind on the old show I did on ESPN because Russell Westbrook that year took 102 more shots than Kevin Durant. And I was the biggest Durant fan, even from his 1 year at Texas. And I predicted as he came in the league, he would win multiple scoring titles, and he began to go right up that curve for me. And the next year after 12-13, by the way, he won his first MVP. Okay, so I was going crazy about Russell Westbrook. How can you do this to Kevin Durant? And Russell was mad at me, and then Kevin got mad at me for being mad at Russell, and it was a big mess that year. But the point was, I now feel sorry for Russell because it still sticks in my craw that Kevin finally said, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to leave you high and dry. And he left him pretty high and dry.
He's going to be known, Skip. He will be known because I believe he's going to pass Oscar's 181 career triple doubles. I believe he'll pass that number. But what he's probably going to be most known for is that he chased Kevin Durant away.
He will be known for that. And unless he could somehow revalidate himself as a winner in and of himself. So he needs to win something.
Yes.
Is it possible to win with this group? Well, I told you yesterday, I would not be shocked if this group, as bad as it had been as when we talked about it yesterday, losing 14 of its last 21, I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to Golden State, if in fact it is Golden State, and steals game 1 in Oakland. I would not be shocked at that at all because this group is... It has nuclear capability on any. It's like you were just talking about Golden State on any given night.
Yes.
When these guys lock in, when Russ, like you say, he always plays this hard. But if he can get some shots to fall, and get hot and get on a roll with Paul George, and if they start feeding off each other, this is still a dangerous team. Steven Adams is still dangerous.
Still big. Yep.
So they have the capability of going in and shocking somebody, and maybe they'll take off now. Maybe they'll take off and leave the Spurs in the dust, and the Spurs will have to deal with Golden State.
Skip, I don't know if they're going to shoot 13 or 44 and beat Golden State. I don't know if you can shoot 29% and beat Golden State from the three-point line. You're going to probably need to be in the high 30s, maybe even the 40s, because you're going to have to match them. And you're not going to get G League guys. And that's what the Lakers trotted out there last night. And Caruso might be a nice little backup.
You know what? He has sneaky athleticism.
You see him flush on him? He turn the corner, boom, like, whoa.
Yep, sneaky.
You can do that.
Yep, he can do that.
But Nipsey Hussle had a different influence, Skip. And I didn't really know his music. I knew him more for what he was trying to do for his community. Skip, give me a second. All my life, I grew up trying to become something to remove myself from the environment in which I came. Most of us do that. Most athletes, black athletes, I can't speak to white because I don't know what's going through, but I can speak to the black community. Skip, most of us want to grow up to leave that because they're like, nah, I don't want to be a part of this. But that's not what this young man did.
Did not.
He became something, stayed in the community, tried to empower others to say, yeah, you can leave, but you can stay and be prosperous here. And someone said, nah, you're doing too good. Nah, we don't like this part of you. And people get upset, and sometimes I go back and forth like, Shannon, you don't live in your community. This is one of the reasons why. This is what happened to this young man should have never happened. When you when you become what he became, and you try to give back, because see, sometimes no matter how much you give, Skip, it's never going to be enough for some. No matter how positive you are, some will try to dim your light and turn you into a negative. And it's not like this. When I played Skip, we weren't close to rappers. I mean, I would see Outkast walking, or I would see the Goody Mob walking something. But these guys have personal, intimate relationship with these guys. Drake has a relationship with Odell, with LeBron. Nipsey Hussle had a personal relationship. With
Russ.
Snoop and all these guys. This intimate, this is personal to them. This is just not rest in peace or rest in power. This actually means something, and it hurts these guys. And you can see it in the NBA because everybody had rest or RP Nip or you see Kawhi had it. It means something, and it's just so sad that in our community, someone so positive got taken away over some bull jive.
It was bull
At the end of the day, I guarantee you, it's something that, and the reports say he knew the guy. He made several, went up to him and talked and left and came. I mean, it's for real.
There was some personal dispute between those two.
At some point in time, we're going to be able to sit down, us, have a conversation. I disagree with what you said. I don't like how you handle it. But we're going to be able to settle it, Skip, with words and not violence. And then we'll be able to reach the precipice, the crescendo of what we can be as a society.
And for those who don't know, Russ wore the Crenshaw t-shirt which is a neighborhood, for those who don't get it, here in Los Angeles that Nipsey represented. Russ didn't exactly grow up in the Crenshaw district, but close enough. Hawthorne, just below Inglewood, just around the edge of South Central. So he gets it. It's in his blood.
Yes, and that's his mentality. He's a fighter.
Well, whatever you think of Russ, what he was doing last night was bigger than the game.
Absolutely.
And it was just nice to hear from him in that way after the game. All right, coming up next, is there trouble brewing between Russell Wilson and the Seahawks? We will discuss next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM.